In the heart of feudal Japan, under the banner of the Date clan, a samurai named Hasekura Tsunagaga knelt before his lord, Date Masamune. This was no ordinary summons. Hasekura was not being sent to battle, but on a voyage that would etch his name into the annals of history. A mission across the vast unknown ocean to a land of myth and legend, Rome. The year was 1613. The Kaiko embassy was a bold gambit, a bridge between two worlds that had never truly met. Hasekura, a man of unwavering loyalty and profound curiosity, was chosen to lead it. He was a seasoned warrior, but his true strength lay in his spirit ready to embrace the unknown. Their journey began aboard the San Juan Bautista, a galleon built by Japanese hands, a testament to their ambition. As the shores of his homeland faded into the mist, Hasekura stood on the deck. The salt spray on his face a baptism into a new life. He felt not fear, but a quiet anticipation. He was a leaf on the wind, carried by the currents of fate towards a destiny he could not yet comprehend. Weeks turned into months. They crossed the Pacific, a seemingly endless expanse of blue, sighting lands and peoples that existed only in sailors' tales. They navigated treacherous storms and the quiet dread of the open sea, their resolve tested with every passing day. After what felt like an eternity, they reached the shores of a new continent, Acapulco in New Spain. The sights, the sounds, the very air was different. Hasekura and his retinue, clad in their traditional silks and carrying their gleaming katanas, were a spectacle. They were strangers in a strange land, their presence a ripple in the fabric of this vibrant, chaotic world. But this was merely a stopover. Their true destination lay across another ocean, across the Atlantic. The final leg of their journey brought them to the Mediterranean, the cradle of an ancient empire. As their ship sailed into the port of Civitavecchia, the gateway to Rome, Hasekura's heart pounded in his chest. The air was thick with history, with the echoes of legions and emperors. The architecture itself was a declaration of power, structures of stone and marble that seemed to defy time. It was a world away from the elegant wooden temples and paper-screened homes of Japan. Here, everything was grand, monumental, and eternal. Stepping onto Roman soil was like stepping into another dimension. The city was a living, breathing entity, a cacophony of languages, a kaleidoscope of cultures. The Roman people, with their bold gestures and expressive faces, stared at the Japanese delegation with a mixture of awe and bewilderment. Hasekura, composed and dignified, observed it all. He saw the Colosseum, a scarred and weathered titan, and imagined the roar of the crowds and the clash of gladiators. He walked through the ruins of the Forum, the ghost of Cicero's voice seeming to whisper on the wind. These were not just stones. They were stories, the silent witnesses to a civilization that had risen, reigned, and fallen. His mission was diplomatic. Hasekura was to meet the most powerful man in this part of the world. Pope Paul V, the Vatican, was a city within a city, a sanctuary of faith and power. As Hasekura was led through its hallowed halls, past masterpieces of art that seemed to breathe with divine life, he felt the immense weight of his task. He was not just Hasekura Tsunagaga, a samurai from Sendai. He was Japan, a nation reaching out from the far side of the world. The audience with the Pope was a moment suspended in time. Two worlds collided in that ornate chamber. Hasekura, speaking through interpreters, presented his letters from Date Masamune, proposing a trade agreement and requesting the dispatch of Christian missionaries to Japan. He conducted himself with the grace and discipline of a true samurai. He knelt not as a subordinate, but as an equal, a representative of a proud and sovereign people. The Pope, intrigued by this envoy from a land he knew only through vague reports, listened intently. In that moment, Hasakura was granted Roman citizenship, a symbolic gesture that recognized the significance of his incredible journey. Hasakura spent months in Rome, and during that time, he was baptized, taking the Christian name Felipe Francisco Hasakura. Was it a political move, a strategic step to ensure the success of his mission? Or had he genuinely been moved by the faith he encountered? Perhaps it was both. The samurai's heart is a complex landscape where duty and personal conviction often walk the same path. He studied their culture, their art, their military strategies. He saw the disciplined formations of the Papal Guard and recognized a familiar martial spirit, albeit expressed in a different form. He was a student, an ambassador, a warrior, and a pilgrim all at once. He saw the paradox of Rome, a city of immense piety, yet also one of political intrigue and worldly ambition. A city of breathtaking beauty, yet also one with poverty and struggle in its shadows. It reminded him, in a way, of his own world. The fundamental nature of humanity, he realized, was the same everywhere. The quest for power, the yearning for faith, the struggle for survival, these were universal threads that connected the samurai of Japan to the citizens of Rome. But as the seasons changed, so did the political winds. Back in Japan, the tides were turning against Christianity. The Tokugawa shogunate, wary of foreign influence, began its long and brutal persecution of Christians. News traveled slowly, but when it reached Hasakura, it was a devastating blow. The very foundation of his mission was crumbling beneath his feet. The trade agreements, the requests for missionaries, it was all becoming impossible. The journey home was a somber affair. The optimism and excitement that had fueled their departure were replaced by a heavy sense of uncertainty. Hasakura carried the title of Roman nobleman and a letter from the Pope, but he was returning to a Japan that was closing its doors to the world. He was a man caught between two eras, two faiths, two worlds. When he finally set foot on Japanese soil again after 7 long years, he found his country transformed. The Christian faith was outlawed, and anyone associated with it was viewed with suspicion. Hasakura Tsunagaga, the samurai who had walked the streets of Rome, who had met the Pope, who had crossed the globe, faded into obscurity. He was forced to renounce his new faith, a painful sacrifice for a man of honor. His incredible journey was deemed a failure by the standards of his time. The trade route was never established. The missionaries were not welcomed. His lord, Date Masamune, had to distance himself from the endeavor. But was it truly a failure? Hasakura's story is not one of political victory, but of human connection. He was the first Japanese ambassador to the Americas and Europe. He bridged an impossible gap, proving that the human spirit of exploration and curiosity knows no bounds. He was a samurai who laid down his sword to carry a message of peace and understanding across the globe. He walked in a world of emperors and popes, a living embodiment of cultural exchange. Today, in a quiet park in Ishinomaki, Japan, a statue of Hasakura stands, looking out towards the ocean. And in Civitavecchia, Italy, another statue of him stands, looking back. They are 2 points on a map, connected by the ghost of a galleon and the indomitable spirit of a samurai who dared to journey to the other side of the world. His story is a quiet reminder that the most profound journeys are not always the ones that achieve their stated goals, but the ones that expand our understanding of the world and of ourselves. Hasakura Sunagaga may have faded from his own country's memory for a time, but his journey echoes through hysteria, testament to courage, curiosity, and the unbreakable bonds of our shared humanity. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this journey through history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow for more stories that connect our world.